In this presentation, we're going to talk about how the settlers transformed the West as they moved westward. The West was pretty much an open range, and you can see that the Great Plains area covers what is yellow on that map to your right. The Great Plains area was called the Great American Desert, which should have been an indication of its potential for farming. There were no boundaries for man or cattle, so cattle drives are easy. You can roam about to wherever you can find the best grasses. There's low population, not many people living there, and few trees. In terms of life as a cowboy, there is about 25% of cowboys who are African American and about 12% who are Mexican American. The life of the cowboy is long, 10 to 14-hour work days. You had to be an expert rider and roper. And they often did these long cattle drives where they herded animals along trails for about 3 months, moving from one cow town to another. Of course, along the way, there was imminent danger in terms of Native American populations, also wild animals. Cattle is in demand because there are now greater urban populations that demand more and more food. The cattle drives basically go to meet the railroads, and the railroads are used for shipping the cattle. Roughly 3 months of travel to get to the railroads typically, and the development of the railroad car, the refrigerated railroad car, makes shipping slaughtered meat possible. Many cattle move along the Chisholm Trail, which goes from Texas up to Kansas, and in the middle there you have Abilene, which is one of the biggest cow towns. Along the way, there was a lot of Mexican American influence. The vaqueros, or Mexican cowboys, taught Americans how to be good cowboys. However, over time, there are too many cattle for the land. In other words, the supply of cattle exceeds the demand of cattle, and overgrazing cause the lands to become less fertile. Also have extended bad weather, disease, and drought. Also, as people look to confine cattle, the development of barbed wire creates a possibility for fences through the open range. And it turns the plains into a series of small ranches, which ends the open range cattle kingdom. In addition to cow towns, you also have mining towns. The gold and silver rushes that are drawing people west result in large strikes in gold and silver, and the development of mining towns. California in 1849, of course, was a big mining area, and the chaos caused by the gold rush led to early statehood. The need for government made them request admission to the Union. Also in the Black Hills, we had the biggest gold find, which led to problems with the Sioux Indians because that was their land given to them by the U.S. government. Comstock lode was found in Nevada, and this was the biggest silver strike ever. Also drew huge numbers of immigrants looking to get rich. Alaska also had a large number of people seeking gold and silver. And then what would happen when these mines went belly up, or when all of the gold or silver had been extracted from the area? The mining towns were deserted, leaving ghost towns in the West. Mining life is pretty wild. There's a large number of people all kinds of people who want to get rich. So you draw from kind of an eclectic crowd of people. It seems like it might be an opportunity for all, an adventure. And we have in these towns saloons and gambling going on. Most of the miners lived in tents or shacks, not very permanent homesteads. And a lot of people experience hard luck. The mining, of course, we talked about this, was very difficult, and only a few people actually get rich from it. These mining towns became known as part of the Wild West, and out of that we get the development of some real characters, legends of adventure, including Wild Bill Hickok, who was a marshal, led a very violent lifestyle, and was shot while holding a pair of aces and a pair of eights in a poker game. Calamity Jane was another bad guy. She was an expert sharpshooter who dressed as a man, also worked as a scout for General Custer. Wyatt Earp was best known for his participation in the shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona in 1881. Of course, Jesse James was an American outlaw, bank and train robber, murderer, gang leader, extremely ruthless. And these characters, the characters of these outlaws and of cowboys, were the material of dime novels. And dime novels are these cheap books, kind of like Danielle Steele romance novels, that were very popular, and they told tales of the Wild West. Horatio Alger was one of the most well-known authors of dime novels. The Wild West was actually quite a short-lived period, only lasted about 30 years, ending in the late 1800s. So that's it for this presentation. We'll move on to talk about life for Native Americans in the Plains in our next video series.